Guilty. That's the verdict the three Americans being held in North Korea just gave themselves.
Do you believe you're guilty of the charges that you've been convicted of here?
Yes.
I will say that I prepared to violate the law of the DPRK before coming here.
That was the general sentiment from Kenneth Bae, Jeffrey Fowle, and Matthew Miller during their 5-minute interviews with CNN. North Korea accuses them of so-called hostile acts against the state, and they admitted as much to CNN's Will Ripley. But here's why you should be skeptical. Former detainees have said before North Korean authorities coerced them into giving confessions. You'll probably remember Merrill Newman, the 85-year-old U.S. tourist who read this videotaped confession during his detention back in November. After his release, he told reporters he was pressured into giving the apology. Same goes for Laura Ling and Yoona Lee, the U.S. journalist briefly jailed in North Korea back in 2009. State-controlled news agency KCNA reported at the time the two women admitted to criminal acts. Ling later said her confession was made involuntarily.
I knew that that was the confession that they wanted to hear, and I was told if you confess, there may be forgiveness, and if you're not frank, if you don't confess, then the worst could happen.
The three men currently held in North Korea also told the Associated Press the only way they'll get out of the country is if the U.S. sends a high-ranking representative to negotiate. And that's a bargaining tactic Pyongyang has used in the past. Visits from former presidents Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton secured the release of American detainees back in 2009 and in 2010. But in some ways, that plays right into Pyongyang's hand, according to the Daily Beast. The Americans are likely being held as bargaining chips by the violent, attention-starved regime in order to seize attention or demand concessions. The Obama administration made clear both times the former presidents were not acting on behalf of the U.S. government, but as private citizens. Washington has no official diplomatic channels with North Korea, using instead Sweden as an intermediary. For Newsy, I'm Elizabeth Hagedorn, multiple sources, a broader view.